Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being around for this session, which hopefully will give us all something interesting to chew on in terms of specifics around innovation by these amazing brands we've got here. So the way we will do is we'll have a quick round of introduction from each one of them, because I'm sure they can talk about themselves and their business better than I can. And then we'll go through some questions where we'll keep it open for them, and if they don't pick up the question, then they will be put under the spotlight with a specific pointer to them. So first of all, we've got Gurmeet Kochhar from Kiddan. We've got Santosh Tyagi from Ghoomar and Dakshin Bhog. We've got Vishal who leads BD for Taco Bell, a brand I think some of us might have heard of. We've got Aditya from Ghost Kitchen, leading growth. And we've got Amrut from a long time sort of heartthrob, I guess, of many of us, Little Italy. So we'll start with Gurmeet. Maybe if you can do a quick round of quick introduction for yourself and your brand.
Hi guys, my name is Gurmeet Kochhar. I used to be an investment banker before. I became a dabbawala, and now I run Spicebox, which is a tiffin service span Mumbai, and I run Kiddan, which I think most people know very well, which is on-demand parathas, and we have branches across multiple cities.
मेरा नाम संतोष त्यागी है. मेरे 3 ब्रांड्स हैं, घूमर थाली, जिसमें मैं थाली सर्व करता हूँ, राजस्थानी थाली, और दूसरा है दक्षिण भोग, जिसमें साउथ इंडियन नॉर्थ इंडियन अला कार्ट होता है, और तीसरा है घूमर विलेज. So that is a new concept of dining.
So hi people, this is Vishal Telkar. I head the business development for Taco Bell. That's a Burman hospitality. Hi, this is Vishal Telkar from Burman Hospitality. That has a master franchise of Taco Bell in India. I'm a Tex-Mex for food in India. And yes, I'm also competing with other brands.
Hi everyone, this is Aditya Shah. I am heading growth at Ghost Kitchens. So we are a multi-brand F&B company having our own Coco kitchens as well as partner kitchens. And now we are off for high street stores. So yeah.
Good evening everyone. My name is Amrut Mehta. I'm from Little Italy group of restaurants. We're a fine dining Italian chain. We also have a gourmet grocery brand by the name of HoReCa. So yeah.
Super. So guys, we'll talk about sort of the flow of, let's say, customer flow through our industry. Talking initially about marketing and how do we reach a particular segment. We'll start with the one segment that we all talk about a fair bit at these events, which is the Gen Zs. So my specific question to the panel here is, are Gen Zs different? Or have we forgotten what we were 20 years ago? So how they are different from the generation that was their age 15 or 20 years ago? That's question number one. And if they're different, are you doing anything unique or unconventional to target them, to retain them, and keep them happy? Who wants to take it?
So I believe definitely Gen Z are very different than what we were 15, 20 years ago. I mean, naturally, they're born in a digital first world, and they value things differently. For example, they're very socially conscious, they like authenticity, they like innovation and that kind of thing. So I believe that gives us many opportunities to reach them in a different manner, in a more innovative way also for the industry, that we can innovate more because they're more accepting to change. So I feel it's a great time to be in the industry because we can innovate more and it's better for the larger ecosystem.
Anybody else? Yeah, Vishal.
So I think for our brand, it suits proper Gen Z because we are a mass-oriented youth brand worldwide, basically. So yes, for them, what we are doing, yes, there are a lot of been seeing burgers, chickens, and pizzas. I think for my brand, it's a perfect mix for Indian business because taco is something which suits for a Gen Z generation, and that's what we are doing. A lot of innovation in terms of product innovations. So we have got cheesy taco. Okay. So we also have got our unlimited Pepsis. We also have introduced coffee. So we are doing a lot of things to make sure that, we stick to the worldwide, the way the brand is perceived. And yes, there are a lot of other things which we'll talk about. Sure.
Okay. Yeah, Gurmeet.
So Amrut, I completely agree with what you said in terms of how different Gen Z is compared to the millennials. because we've also seen that trend in actually interacting with the Gen Zs, the way they order. And the most important thing that we've experienced about the Gen Zs is that they really, really care about the actual story about the brand, about the product. They would like to know the journey through which how the product is being sourced and delivered to them end to end. So it's, I think, authenticity really, really resonates with them to a very different level, which we've not seen with millennials or Gen X or the boomer generations before that. So I think if you want to sell something to the Gen Zs, keep it as authentic as possible, keep it as real as possible. That would really, really work as what we have experienced.
All right. Authenticity and product assortment, but I'm going to be a little painful. I'm going to ask you to say something specific, right? Let's say when you said, cheesy stuff, cheesy tacos or Coke, soft drinks. 20 years ago, I probably wanted cheesy tacos and soft drinks. How does that make them different? And with respect to the storytelling, have you guys done anything specific that's very unique? Or maybe you can share your experience about some other brands that are doing it beautifully. So let's say I'm going to sort of pressurize you guys to give something take home for the audience where they can say, all right, that was something I picked up that was specific. Thank you.
I mean, on the same note, I feel the Gen Zs are much more aware than any other sort of customer segment has been before. They read much more, they read labels. For example, even if you're saying a cheesy taco, they're the kind of people who are going to ask, what type of cheese is it? Is it 100% dairy? How is it, right? So I feel that is important. Also with the sodas, they're the kind of market more likely to ask for fresh juices or zero sugar, those kind of things. So I think that makes it much more nuanced. And yeah, I feel more specific. They also value sustainability, ethically sourced ingredients, and that sort of thing. Packaging, biodegradable. All of these things, they are highly valued by the Gen Zs, which probably was not by the millennials or someone else.
All right, cool. Thank you. We'll just build up that, on that topic a little wider. We'll talk about the broader Indian customer. I think today we all heard our past panelists talk about how they're spoiled for choices, right? And they are seeking authenticity and sustainability and so on. Fair enough. Now, are they willing to pay for it? Is the new customer willing to pay for any additional authenticity or product assortment that you're creating specifically for them or the ingredient? Maybe Aditya, will start with you there.
Yeah, I feel that nowadays the spending power of customers have increased. So even for the previous point, the Gen Zs that we have, they have high spending powers, and the more they start to earn, the spending power of them will obviously increase, which also allows us to keep on experimenting with the products, which is what the Gen Zs usually demand for, or rather they are very experimental and they need different options or flavors across. So that's how even we have come up with a product called as Kalizza, which is basically a fusion of a pizza and a calzone. So that is one of the product, and over the period the sales contribution of that has gone widespread, so which is a proof of market for us that Gen Zs are actually liking such products.
Okay. Santosh, sorry, Vishal, go for it.
Hey, you know,
Please go for it.
So I have, different point here, okay. When you said, Anurag, what I understood with your question is that is Gen Z is paying or not? But I have a point where it says that I think which is more important. So yes, Gen Z are paying, but they also have an budgets. So what we have understood as a brand like Taco Bell, our APCs were high. I just want to give an understanding from my restaurant point of view. My APCs were high. So my sales were volumes, I need to pick it up. So what we did is that you can see right now what others are doing, like burgers and pizzas, they are coming with value meals. So I think for Gen Z right now, the value meals, so now if you see, go to any of my store, you will get it 59 rupees, a tacos, a fries, a Pepsi, which we have started. 79 rupees also we have got started. In fact, various discounts are available. So I think for Gen Z, it is also has to be pocket friendly, what I feel. And astonishing part, as we did that, it's been about 6 months now. we have seen increase in trajectory in terms of our sales volumes. Almost 5 to 6% of sales have been increased. So yes, you have to serve. Yes, they are to the Gen Z audience, but I think it's more important to be pocket friendly also for Gen Z generation. That's my thought.
That's interesting. So now, as we can imagine, like they are youngsters today. As they grow through the years, their spending power will increase, and then we'll need to retain these customers who are currently, let's say you're providing subsidized rates for them to capture them, let's say 59 or 69 rupees offering. How are you trying to retain not just Gen Z, general consumers, right? And something that's unique or different that you're doing to try to retain the customers now that you've got them through unique offerings and unique price points?
So I'll just take the previous one first, because I think in terms of packaging and in terms of what the consumer really wants, the Gen Zs really are getting very conscious about this, because in terms of Kiddan also, we see a lot of consumers opting for the no cutlery option or trying to avoid as much as wastage in terms of packaging as possible, as minimal packaging. And we've also seen requests coming for reusable steel tiffins in the kind of scale that we do Spice Box also on, so that the amount of plastic being used is getting reduced. So I think they, even though they like to spend a little on sustainable packaging, they understand that all packaging is not sustainable. So they're trying to avoid as much as wastage as possible. So I think that is where they are really, really way more conscious than the previous generations that we've seen.
Okay. Santosh, आपका point थोड़ा मेरे ख्याल से यहाँ पर unique perspective आएगा, given that you have outlets in smaller towns like Patna and elsewhere. Do you see कि जो हम लोग बात करते हैं कि Gen Z and the new age customer, तो in smaller towns, how is that customer different from जो हम बॉम्बे या दिल्ली में देख रहे हैं?
सबसे पहली बात यह है कि मैं जनरेशन्स को अलग अलग देखने में बिलीव नहीं करता हूँ, बिकॉज हिंदुस्तानी इंडियंस पीपल जो है, हम लोग ज़्यादातर जो है फैमिली ओरिएंटेड पीपल हैं, हम लोग फैमिली में रहना ज़्यादा पसंद करते हैं। और आज की डेट में जब फूड ऑफरिंग बहुत ज़्यादा हो गई हैं और एवरी नूक एंड कॉर्नर पे हर मतलब कस्टमर की कैसे भी किसी समय डिमांड हो तो सप्लाईज़ बहुत सारी है, मतलब हर तरह की सप्लाईज़ मिल जाएंगी हर सेगमेंट में। तो मैं ये समझता हूँ कि आज की डेट में जो कस्टमर है वो थोड़ा डिमांडिंग हो गया है, वो कुछ और एक्स्ट्रा चाहता है बेसिकली, क्योंकि हम इंडियन पीपल की मेंटलिटी, हमारा थॉट प्रोसेस ऐसा होता है कि हमारे से आप कुछ भी ले लो लेकिन हमको एक्स्ट्रा क्या मिल रहा है वो हमारे लिए बहुत ज़रूरी है। तो मैं उसी वजह से मैं अभी तक रेस्टोरेंट फाइन डाइन चला रहा था, अब मैं एक नया कॉन्सेप्ट लेके आ रहा हूँ जिसका नाम है घूमर विलेज। तो उसमें मैं 50% फूड दे रहा हूँ और 50% एंटरटेनमेंट दे रहा हूँ। तो
एंटरटेनमेंट मतलब
एंटरटेनमेंट में इंडिया में जो एंटरटेनमेंट है, फोक एंटरटेनमेंट, ट्रेडिशनल एंटरटेनमेंट, डांसेस, पपेट शो, म्यूजिक शो, मैजिक शो, जो इंडियन फैमिली को मतलब 3 साल से लेकर 80 साल तक के लोगों को केटर कर सकें, आप पूरी फैमिली से वहाँ पे जा सको और एक एक्सपीरियंस लेके आप वहाँ से आ सको, इस तरह की चीज़ मैं क्रिएट कर रहा हूँ जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ पीपल डिमांड, कि पीपल वांट मोर ना हो कि भाई रेस्टोरेंट बहुत हो गया, कुछ और दो यार।
Interesting. So, that goes to show innovation is not only about trying to do something new all the time, it's also about embracing something from the past that others are not doing, something different. That's a great model and great idea. Now, talking about, again, staying with this topic of innovation, by the way, one of the problems that you'll have when you give certain questions or broad ideas ahead of time is some people will use that in a different, at a different agenda. So we had the question about Zepto, right? How is Q-commerce, right, disrupting this industry? More specifically, do you think Q-commerce, which the scale that they are looking to get to, will they be disrupting a particular subcategory of food service, right? Number one. And number two, how are you guys, I'll ask each one of you to answer it, how are you guys looking to, are seeing this particular industry coming up and looking to handle it? Maybe take advantage of it.
So in terms of how Zepto and let's say Swiggy Cafe are trying to disrupt the market is actually something that restaurants will have to be very, very careful about and think very hard about, especially people like us, Kiddan, Spicebox, which are completely into delivery spaces. Because if you think about it, Zepto's promise is 10 minutes delivery, and every single thing, they've actually filtered down on items which are the most highly ordered items across the Indian segment or the Indian main metros and tier 1, tier 2 cities, and they're offering that within 10 to 15 minutes. So what that does is for delivery kitchens, for QSRs, for restaurants, that 30% of revenue, which actually people want some simple fixes, is getting really, really affected. And you will see that trend being moving forward from 30% to even a larger percentage if like people don't adapt quickly. So that is something that is something we have to be wary about. And how we are trying to do that is basically we had suggested something like, which already Swiggy has picked up when we had discussions with Swiggy earlier this year, which is Bolt. Bolt is something where we will be delivering items within 10 minutes to consumers who are looking at quick fixes. So there are some innovations that we'll have to look, and fortunately or unfortunately, we will have to tie up with Swiggy and Zomato, the aggregators on the platform, to be able to deliver that in 10 minutes.
So again, pushing you further, so what something specific that you yourself are doing, or another brand X is doing, to try to address getting something ready in 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Earlier, Harpreet ji was talking about, Harpreet Tip was talking about the same concept. Something that you've already done or are building, and is there any significant innovation involved in that?
See, there are two types of innovations that you can look at. If you're talking about food innovation, that's a separate thing altogether. If we are looking at 10-minute logistics things, it's a separate thing altogether. Which one are you specifically talking about?
So in this case, I guess since you're partnering with a third-party logistics, like Swiggy or Zomato, or let's say Zepto, so you would be doing only the food part, I assume. So what would that be? Is there something? Again, it's open for you guys. If you think there is something, you have thoughts on this broader category, this question, and specific, please go.
So because I think big data really works here in terms of understanding what are the items which are being ordered in every different segment of the day, in what are the maximum orders that you get between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m., what are the maximum orders that you get between 12 and 2, the lunchtime, and specifically late night also. So when you have that segmentation ready, how do you keep a certain prep time ready for that, or you keep certain SKUs completely ready at your end to make sure that you deliver within the 10-minute barrier?
Amrut?
So I think, with quick commerce now coming about, it's making it really competitive for the food delivery industry. Earlier, 30 minutes delivery seemed fantastic, right? Now you have to compete with 10 minutes, right? So I feel we need to optimize our menus perhaps a little bit more. And he touched upon the point rightly about big data. Say, for example, if we want to be on Swiggy, Bolt or something, we have to go to Zomato and Swiggy and say, what do you think is going to work from my menu assortment? What sort of volumes do you think we could work out? And let's do a pilot, right? I will make some dishes ready. If you commit to me like these volumes are going to move, I will pre-prepare it, and then we can do the 10-minute delivery, right? So I feel that is one aspect that we can work on together with them. Going back to the point about quick commerce sort of being a competition to us or eating into a market, I think is a very valid point, because earlier food delivery was convenient. Nobody wanted to cook anymore. Now cooking at home is convenient also. You can get your groceries in 7 minutes, pre-cut vegetables and whatnot ready to cook. Yeah. So that eats into a market to an extent. Agreed. And the Zepto Cafe also, I mean, maybe for us as literally a fine dining chain, is not really a competitor, because we deliver, let's say, food experience or more gourmet food. But let's say the vendors who are doing idli, dosa, sandwich or something like that, which is quicker, it's maybe more convenient to get it off a Zepto Cafe or like order a protein bar, protein shake or fruits, right? So those sort of options are also there in the market now. So it's definitely going to be more competition for us and eat into our market, maybe in the short term. But in the long term, I feel it will help us develop the market in general.
Fair enough.
So I agree with both of their points. Okay, so being Taco Bell as an international brand, we comes with lot of hygienes, audits, packaging stuffs, and all that. So I'm sure we cannot go into a 10 minutes delivery right now while we are talking, which he also told. So I think because the product has to be, delivered with that baked completely. It cannot be half baked and all that, so which we cannot do. So I think getting Zepto point of view, I think it would be challenging for brands like us to do it, and it will be difficult for us to do that. And but yes, innovation is growing. I really don't know what we are talking. If Zepto is doing some 10 minutes, one more point which he added rightly is that we have to do certain more innovations internally, maybe specifically for for our brand. We have to do it because the idea is the customer has to. If the customer is getting into the early time delivery at his place, and that is his wow thing for him, a delight thing, we have to also do. So I think future is we have to also have to do certain changes, but not now what I see. But yes, it will disrupt the business what we are doing right now, and we cannot deliver it in that fashion. As a international brand, we are. Yeah.
Santosh, you had a point, I think. बताइए.
मेरा इस बारे में ये कहना है कि ये बहुत ज़्यादा कट थ्रोट जो कॉम्पिटिशन चल रहा है, पहले 30 मिनट का था, फिर अब आके 10 मिनट हो गया, कल को कोई और कहेगा कि मैं 5 मिनट में देता हूँ, 2 मिनट में, 2 मिनट की मैगी तो ऑलरेडी पहले से है ही. लेकिन मेरा सोचना इसमें थोड़ा सा अलग है कि अब जो ये प्लेटफॉर्म्स हैं, इन लोगों को थोड़ा क्वालिटी कॉन्शियस होना चाहिए और इन लोगों को कुछ ऐसी टीम बनानी चाहिए जो जहाँ से फूड डिलीवर हो रहा है, जहाँ किचन है, उनका एक सर्वे होना चाहिए, उनके कुछ पॉइंट्स और वैसे करके इसमें डेफिनेटली क्वालिटी का कुछ मार्क्स होना बहुत ज़रूरी है. अदरवाइज़ जो आज की डेट में जिस तरह से कंपटीशन जहाँ जा रहा है, जिस तरह से कि अब 10 मिनट्स और ये वो, तो उसमें क्वालिटी बहुत ज़्यादा डाउन होती जा रही है. इसलिए क्वालिटी के लिए बहुत ज़रूरी है कि किचन का एक कोई मार्किंग, कोई कुछ ना कुछ ऐसा स्टैंडर्ड कुछ बनाया जाए जिस वजह से हम लोग थोड़ा क्वालिटी कॉन्शियस भी हों. अगर हम टाइम कॉन्शियस हो गए तो थोड़ा क्वालिटी कॉन्शियस भी होना ज़रूरी है.
I think, very valid point. I mean, maybe in the short term, people are going to be fascinated by the whole 10-minute aspect, but when you run things so fast, there's surely something you're missing out, right? So I don't think they'll be able to match the quality or freshness that any of us are doing over here with the 10 minutes delivery. But maybe that particular consumer today is not looking for that. They're looking for convenience and maybe like a cheaper product. But yeah, I think it's a different market altogether.
What I feel is that the customers of food e-commerce as well as the quick commerce are the same. So if the quick commerce industry is growing and they are offering 10-minute deliveries, then food commerce also has to cope up with that. Like Swiggy Bolt came in. So prior to that, there is something called as kitchen prep time, KPT. So for our brands, earlier we used to have it around 12 to 15 minutes. But after these players coming in, we had to work around and we were able to bring it down to 8 minutes or so. So again, along with such sort of newcomings or disruptions and the pressures, it will enable us to think more and push ourselves to deliver quality in the given time.
Thank you so much. On a, sort of moving a little bit away, again looking at the business at a slightly bigger picture. Now, we've got people who are complete, cloud kitchen models here, and we've got physical, outlet folks here. Are you guys looking at a slightly different mix of online, offline sort of offerings that you guys are at? Because I know there's a lot of churn happening in the industry. So do you see a way to sort of reinvent yourself and your offering for your customers?
I think so that's an unconventional model, okay, and very rightly it is very much required right now for us also for Taco Bell. Taco Bell, you must have seen malls, high streets, sharing the experience of what we are, because we have to share the wow experience like the way we do it internationally. But just recently we also wanted, the most important point which I think everybody will agree is that what is the investment on the store which you guys are doing, which has to be compact. Versus your sales water volumes you're doing. I think cloud kitchen model which you touched, we just opened a cloud kitchen model at with Rebel Foods only at Chandivli, and astonishing, that's the first store of us with as a cloud kitchen in Mumbai in Chandivli, and it's doing exceptionally well. So for us to decide where also we got certain services from them in terms of capex, our rentals were low. Okay, being we associating for a longer run with Rebel Foods, we have got a good, revenue shares also with them, and that helped us. And where we are not able to be, I think the point number one, which is that we need to have, the capex has to be shortened, which helps the cloud kitchen, helps us that way. Point number two, we are able to reach to maximum audience because they also, as Rebel Food already has their own products, and with our products also on their platform and as well as other platform, it helps us to reach out to maximum use. So for example, if Eat Show, what we are doing right now is that we are in that with them at their platform. So if a person is ordering right now is maybe a Behruz biryani or maybe a Fasus, is also adding Taco Bell in his bucket, which helped us to reach out to their audience also. So I think Cloud Kitchen is a fantastic model, and most important point, I think the other, all other people will agree, is that the offline rentals are very high. Okay, it's almost takes about 2 digits of the operative cost. So I think getting into online helps us to handle that pressure of offline store also. But yes, we will be growing. But I would like to make that statement also. It's not I'm promoting the Cloud Kitchen model for my brand. We will be on because we have to sell experience, but it is giving us a balance to do the expansions. And Unconventional model is primarily helping us to be in that segments also to grow. Yeah.
Ultimately, dhanda karna hai.
Ultimately, dhanda karna hai.
Anybody else? Yeah.
I believe today in the competitive nature of the industry, apart from just product and service, because we're dealing with a new age customer, I feel something extra or like an X factor is also very important. Probably the Gen Z would call it vibe, right? So I feel it may be entertainment, it may be something in the restaurant, as Satish ji rightly said about entertainment inside the restaurant. If we talk about examples, let's say the top end of the spectrum, Bastion, right? They do match shows inside the restaurant, performers, and that kind of thing. I feel that value add and experiential sort of element is really important to create an immersive dining experience. Let's say even within delivery, we spoke about how do you keep customer loyalty, right? Feel someone like a Gen Z customer really values personalization. If you're sending them a delivery, let's assume everyone has a great product and delivers fast. But if you give them a handwritten note for their morning breakfast and say, have a great day, kill it, right? They're going to love it. They're going to put it on Instagram, and that's free marketing for a brand. So I feel things like this, an add-on or like an X factor is really important.
Super. Thank you. Thank you so much. Any questions from the audience? Yes, please. Can we get the mic there? Can we get the mic there?
Yeah, hi, sorry. Vijay here from Mumbai. Across the spectrum, we have been hearing about the customer being segregated into Gen Z, dinosaurs, and raptors, and alphas now coming into picture. Maybe atom and beta theta will also come into picture. But anyway, why I'm making that particular point is, ultimately what we're, need to have your thoughts on that. Ultimately what we're trying to do is, we are trying to satisfy hunger, right? And experience. So your thought on that. So is it necessary to get the customer segmentation so complicated, and then immersive experience and 3D experience, and then I can have food here and see Antarctica also? I mean, your thoughts.
I mean, I guess it really depends on what your product is, what you're trying to target. For example, if you're a thali restaurant, that's your mainstay, right? You want good service, good product, and that's it. But if you're creating a space like a bar where you want to target different customers, then you need to have something that ticks all the boxes. And I feel today the industry, the base level need of just product is everywhere. If you are to add on and stand out, you need some of these elements.
So I would like to add on to what Amrut said. And the reason why segmentation in terms of different generations is important is because we've seen innovation play a very, very important role in the way consumers consume these days in terms of generations. So if you'll see, I don't think in the Gen X or the boomers, you will see a lot of people who are vegan. So you will understand that it's not just a tide where people are actually turning vegan or moving to plant-based proteins, etc., and everything. Now, for us also, the reason why we, by the way, this is not a paid promotion for GoodDot. I never get paid. It's not something where we got, when we saw the product, etc., at GoodDot, and we tried it out for our products in Kiddan and Spicebox, we realized that there is no difference between the meat, the chicken that we're using, and it's a very good source of protein. It's a very good, like plant-based protein, which does not, you cannot distinguish between the actual product and the chicken. And that's not the primary point, because people who are vegetarians primarily, which is 60% of Indian population, that's a very, very big market for them. So we, like, not just from our companies, Kiddan, Spicebox and everything, when Tibbs introduced that, Harpreet uncle, when he introduced the plant-based protein in his Frankie, and now it's become a significant chunk of their revenue. And that is innovation that they've brought in, specifically keeping the Gen Zs and the Alphas, as you rightly said, in mind. Okay, and it really makes a huge difference, because recently, I think last month, I'd gone to Bade Mia's, and at Bade Mia's, I saw gentlemen's rolls being sold at...
Totally not paid.
Yeah, yeah. I can show my GPay also, he doesn't pay. Yeah, so it is very important to get this segmentation right, and it is very important to know your customer, because unless and until you do that, and very rightfully, as Amrut and Vishal said, that the experience part is completely picking on again. So it's a blend between the experience and the actual food product that you're doing, which is in cohorts together to make sure that you're getting the right mix and delivering what you expected.
Thank you, everyone. I think we are out of time. Thanks
Thank you,
for your
thank you, thank you.
patience. Hopefully this is useful.